Hello everyone. In this part, I'm going to explain more about variables, and it's going to be one of the most important chapters of our course because variables play a crucial role in programming, and we want to make sure that we understand the features and characteristics completely. In order to create variables inside MATLAB, we need to observe some rules. For instance, for any variable to be valid inside MATLAB, it must contain only letters A to Z, then digits 0 to 9, and it should start with a letter. So I cannot define a variable like 9 times equals 43. This is wrong. It cannot be understood. However, I can say time 9 equals 43. It's completely correct, and I can do that. And also, there is a convention among programmers, and it's that when you wanted to create a variable which is long and it consists of 2 or 3 different words, it's much easier to connect them with underscore. For example, the students in my class. I want to define a variable called students in my class. So I would like to say students underscore in underscore my underscore class. So this is a new variable. I would like to assign a value to it. And also note that x equals 3 is completely different than capital X equals 8, right? Because they're different. If I say x, it's 3. If I say capital X, it's 8. Also, it's a source of many confusions and errors in programs. While some people tend to define variables starting with capital letter and then call that variable inside their program with small letter. While writing your program, make sure that the variables you use inside the body of your program are exactly those that you define at the beginning of your program. So, as we learned, the variables with capital letters are different from those in the small letters, and also this is a very common source of problem and confusion among early programmers. So for example, if I wanted to demonstrate what I'm saying, I would like to say, let's define time variable as 45 seconds. And then let's go to distance equals to 89 meters. And then I would like to find the velocity. If I wanted to find the velocity, the formula is distance divided by time. And if I type time with a small t, MATLAB asks us, I have no idea what's the time. Did you mean time with capital T? And if I say yes, it calculates the velocity. Therefore, it is very important that we call the same variable that we defined earlier. Let's start another one. So let me clear the screen. In this part, I'm going to calculate the area of a circle. So first of all, I would clear all. So I make sure that there is no other variable involved. And in this part, I would use, in this program, I'm using comments that it starts with % program. I am going to calculate the area of a circle. Very simple example. All right. The best way to do it is define like the R variable, the radius. Or let's do this. Radius equals, let's say 4. And in this part, I press some space keyboard and then say, this is the radius of a circle. And we learned that this line, because we had a % in front of it, is not going to be executed. But this part is. And you know, this is the best way to make sure we're not cluttering the MATLAB screen. And we also know what's the definition. So what is the area? Equals pi multiplied by radius squared. This is going to calculate the area of the circle. So in this part, this line calculates the circle area. If I execute that, it's going to calculate the result. And you see that I do have the area and the radius here. In this part, I would like to show you some features of these windows and how you can get more information out of the variables and outputs that you come up out of running your program. One thing that I would like to show you here is that maybe by mistake or just curiosity, you come here and undock this window, the workspace, right? If you do that, you might freak out and say, wow, what should I do now? It's not in place. But actually, it's a way to see the variables in more detail. And you can easily bring it back by ducking back, right? If I duck it back, it's going to come back here. And it's true for other windows as well. The other thing that I would like to say is that if you double click on area, it will bring up something like a spreadsheet. And it is actually a spreadsheet, only with one variable. And it is an extraordinary feature that later that we introduce the matrices and vectors, it's going to be very, very easy for us to first manipulate our data and second do some statistical analysis on it very easily. But here, I would like to point out you can easily change the value of everything here by double clicking in this part. So in order to make it more clear, let me double click on radius and the value is 4. You might, after running the program, you might think, oh my gosh, it should be 5 instead of 4. So you can double click on this part and just change that. That's simple. And if you come here, the value is 5. And if I say radius, what is radius? The value is 5. Therefore, it is a place where you can manipulate the data and change it accordingly. We will learn more about it in future videos. Hi everyone. In this part, I'm going to talk about the precision in MATLAB and how we can increase that precision when we get the results out of MATLAB. So if you had noticed, every calculation in MATLAB is going to be reflected back with 4 digits of precision. So in this part, I'm going to show you how we can increase that. Especially in engineering field, there are cases that we're interested in finding the precision in much more detail and just to get a better result. The first item that I want to talk about, we can alter the MATLAB precision through a command called format. And by default, MATLAB's format is format short, which is 4 digits. And I want to show you how we can increase that to 16 digits. The way that we're going to do it is through format. So if I type format space, and instead of short, I type long. And you will notice that the color is also different. Format long. Therefore, what happens if you do that, when you hit enter, nothing has happened. But from now on, MATLAB is going to return the results with more precision. So I'm going to bring back the calculation I just did. And if I hit enter, you will notice that it's now in 16-digit precision. If I say this number multiplied by 889, I'm just making some numbers. You'll notice that now it's in much bigger precision. The way to return back to previous normal calculations is to type format short, which is the default, format short. If I now bring back the calculations that I just did, you'll notice that they're going to be reflected back with 4 precisions. And format makes an important part in MATLAB programming, and I'm going to shortly introduce you to different types of formats. So let me clear things. I will use this as a default, this calculation. So the first one was format short, and now format long. The other thing that is important is format short E. Format short E, which is the scientific notation with 4 decimal digits. And if I calculate it, so if I bring the calculation, you will notice that whenever you want that this E be included into calculation, you just pass the format short E into that and it will bring the results into that format. I'm going to bring the longer, this calculation, and I just wanted to hit enter. You will see that the result will contain E exponent. And as you see, it is in 4 precision. And again, if you wanted to increase that to 16, you will type format long E. Previously it was format short E. You will notice that now it is in 16 digit and it is in E format. And there are some other parts like format bank. So format bank will give you the result with 2 digits after the point. So let me bring the other one. So it will always give you with 2 digits after the point. Other forms are format short G, which is for floating point. They're not very important, but I'm going to just introduce you to. So format long G. And it's like that. And when I say they're not important, it doesn't mean that they're really unimportant. They have their own place in calculations and engineering field, but in this course we're going to stick with short format and as the standard form and a long format and exponent. Hi everyone, I hope you've been enjoying the course so far, and in this part I'm going to teach you how to do the symbolic calculations, and this time on variables. Okay, so let me clear everything and also let me get rid of these things. It's just been a while. And we'll learn how to define the symbolic, right? So if I say symbolic 1 over half, 1 over 2, which is the half, now the value is calculated as a fraction, not numerically. But what if I need to do this with variables? I want the variables to be calculated like x cubed, and x is a symbolic. There are 2 ways to do that in MATLAB. The first one is through a function x equals sim, open parentheses, and as you do so, you will notice that the MATLAB helps you to complete it. So the first item that I'm going to use, it is single quotation, the variable, and close quotation, close parentheses. I'm going to do that. I will do single quotation, x, single quotation, and close it. When I do that, you will notice that it's now x equals x, which is normal. However, that x is now in symbolic format. Therefore, if I pass x equals symbolic 4/9, so I define a variable symbolically, and I'm going to put it there inside x. If I hit enter, you'll notice that x now is 4/9 symbolically, and x is still symbolic. If I say x squared, it will give me the result in symbolic format, and x is still symbolic. How about x cubed? The same thing. So from now on, if whatever I put inside x symbolically, it's going to be treated symbolically as a variable. The second way to define that is through sims and x. So let me use another one, y. The first item that we learned is sims. That the first way was, let me write it again. X equals sim x and this one. This is the first way that we can define a symbolic variable inside MATLAB. And the other part is sims x, which is y. I'm going to use a different one here. So if I say sims y, and the second one is also defined as a symbolic variable. And please notice that here, without parentheses, there is an S here, and you can actually create multiple symbolic variables in one line. If I say sims A, B, C, D, E, with one space each, some variables at the same time are created for me, and it's going to be very, very handy and useful. For example, if I use a name, let's say John, let me clear things. If I use a name called John equals symbolic John, and from now on, the John is a variable which is symbolic, and it's going to be used in programming as a symbolic one. There is something very important in this part, and it is when you define a variable, let's say sims y, and you want to store a variable, a value inside this y, which is now symbolic, you must be very careful not to do this mistake that I'm going to show you. If I say y equals 54 and hit enter, you will notice that y is no longer in symbolic. But you might ask, here we had defined it as a symbolic. Yes, but in next line, you again change that. So the correct way to do that is sims y, which makes it again symbolic, and then y equals symbolic y. Now you will notice that y is calculated as a symbolic and it is maintained as a symbolic format. Hello guys, you might be asking yourself, okay, we understood how to calculate the variables symbolically, but when they're useful and why it's so important. I'm going to show you with a real example. Imagine that I'm going to calculate the area of a circle symbolically. By symbolically, I mean I need to know how many pi's are in there, or what is the impact of the pi on the final value. To do that, I will use sims r as radius and area, because I do have only two variables, sims r and area. But the r is a symbolic, so I make sure that I put it this way. And the value for that is 3/4, let's say. What I'm going to do is put the radius value 3/4. And I want to make sure that it's symbolic. I don't want any numerical results. If I do that, r now is defined as a symbolic value. So I would go and calculate the pi r squared. If I do that, you'll notice that the result is no longer in a numeric format. It's now in symbolic. And I can visually diagnose that pi has a direct impact on the area, which is considered the final result. Well, here it might not seem to be very important or difficult. However, while you learn programming, you will be working on programs with multiple variables at the same time. You need to know how to manipulate them. And we already learned that if you were interested into numeric value of the outcome, you can easily pass the area to double. So if I do double, you will see that the result is now in numeric format. So if I say area again, the result is going to be back into symbolic, because double is not going to change anything. Double is going only to change the format MATLAB shows the result to us. One more thing that I would like to show you here, and you're going to like it a lot, is that as you notice, MATLAB is just showing the result in a line format, not a real fraction. In order to have the result in a more beautiful format, you can use a function called pretty. Pretty and the value, let's say, value area. So basically, I'm telling MATLAB to make it more beautiful for me. And now you notice that the result is now in a fraction format. And we will be using this a lot. So let me show you something else. If I define sims x, y, and z, so I define three symbolic variables inside MATLAB, and I would like to calculate x squared minus z cubed plus y, and the whole thing then divided by minus y squared plus z plus x cubed. Okay, so I just calculated something which I'm going to be receiving like this. And it's not going to be very beautiful or intuitive to understand. I would use pretty. So if I do that, now I do have the results in a more beautiful format. And make sure that you grasp this idea, because in vector and matrices, we're going to define transfer functions and we're going to work with these things a lot.